want to welcome you to my second episode of Pens in Use. I need to come up with a more clever name for that. I want to start out with a pen that's not currently in use because I will be reviewing it this weekend out of schedule. Because I've actually had several questions about it, and I keep waving it in front of people. It's time to show you this baby. So I will be showing you the Centro Pen 100820, which I'll put the name down there so you can read it. Good luck, though, finding information about it. English language, the only information I've found about it is on myuberpens.com. You will find stuff in other languages, including languages that use the Cyrillic alphabet. I'm guessing some of the languages are Czech and Slovak. I don't remember which one, but one of them uses the Cyrillic alphabet, the other one uses the Latin alphabet. And there are a few Russian websites that talk about this pen. So good luck on your research. It came with a pencil. I don't know how many were sold, and I don't think there's the community for Centro Pen like there is for Pelikan or Kaweco, for example. So something maybe you can start. So anyway, just show off the beautiful celluloid again. And I will point out, I have emptied it out, although there is a little condensation in there, for photography Saturday morning, assuming the light cooperates, which it sounds like it should. Yes, I still use sunlight as my light. One of my winter projects after I get the trim done is I would like to build a light box, but I'm not there yet. So that's upcoming. Out of order. So as always, the Lamy 2000 is inked up with Noodler's Black because that's my daily writer pen. But let's get to the fun pens, because that's the pen I use all the time. So even if I forget to mention it some week, it's inked up with Noodler's Black. I go through about a bottle or two of Noodler's Black a year. When I was really hardcore in writing my novel and not typing it, I actually went through 3 bottles one year, so that's pretty amazing when you look back on it. All right, so this pen here is a Platinum 3776 Chartreuse Blue with a music nib, currently inked with La Couleur Royale, which looks spectacular with the music nib. In fact, speaking of currently inked, I am thinking about purchasing one of my... I always thought it was such a stupid idea, but don't tell anyone I said that. But Matt Armstrong has these currently inked notebooks just to write a line that, Noodler's La Couleur Royale, Platinum 3776. Because I've looked back at some of my writing, and I think, wow, that's a pretty ink. I wonder which one it is. Because the color actually can look quite different in other pens. I've used this ink before in very fine nibs, and it's kind of a purpley blue and nothing all that special. Music nib, boom, it's beautiful. So yeah, something to think about for me anyway. So I may be either buying one of them, because I think it is good to support him. So that's a way to support him. That actually gives me something in return. I also have currently inked, in use, re-inked as a matter of fact, my Pilot Custom 823 with a fine nib. I've had this pen for a few years. It makes it quite regularly into the rotation. At one time it was a daily writer. It is no longer, because I like the Lamy 2000 better, but it is a nice pen. Lays down a nice line. Business-like writing. I thought about switching out and putting a Falcon nib in it, but now I'm questioning if I want to do that, because I actually really enjoy writing with it as a business pen. So I don't know. I gotta make some decisions. I want to cut my pen collection down. But anyway, I refilled it last week with Mont Blanc Black, which was a bottle one of my pen pals sent me. I guess she had a whole bunch of ink and she was trying to shrink her collection. So I got the Mont Blanc Black. And I'm just trying it out. I'm not that familiar with Mont Blanc and don't own any of their pens. So, as far as I've seen so far, it's black ink and yay. I don't think it's as waterproof as Noodler's Black that I've been using, so I don't think it'll ever become my daily use ink, but I'm glad I got to try it, so there you go. My Pilot Custom 823 is inked up with Pilot Iroshizuku Yamabudo, which is a really intense purple ink named after some kind of a wild grape, I believe, that lives in Japan. And of course, I have switched out the nib on that pen. The pen actually was purchased with the fine nib. I have a Pilot Custom 74, which I purchased with a broad nib. And so I just switched the two nibs. In fact, I'm going to either give away or try to sell the Pilot Custom 74. Now with the broad nib, this fills that role. Not that the 74 is a bad pen, there's just others I like better. There you go. And just like last week, the Pelican M200 is filled up with Pilot Iroshizuku Chiku Rin, which is a kind of a light green ink, which makes it not that useful on my document camera for notes and such. So it's pretty much limited to pen pals and little notes to myself. So that one will probably be in the collection another couple of weeks till I get all that ink sucked out of it. And since last week this was a failure and this week it's cleaned out, my Conklin word gauge, last week I couldn't show you the word gauge because it was full of ink, but there it is. So I don't know when I will post a review on that. I will probably film it while I am filming the Central Pen this weekend. But as far as when the review gets posted, I don't know. Because I actually have a number of reviews saved up right now. All meet a red t-shirt, so I'll try and wear something else on Saturday. It's supposed to be nice, though, so maybe in a t-shirt. We'll see. I still have inked up my Lamy Studio with Visconti Blue, which came from Larry Berrones. I like the ink a lot. I will be doing a rodeo with this pen where I compare a number of different Lamy nibs. In fact, my plan was to film it this weekend, but now I'm doing all these pens instead. So I'm going to film it over the Veterans Day weekend. And that'll be fun. And by the way, Larry Berrones, which I think I'm getting it right now, has entered into the world of fountain pen reviewing. One thing he has over me is he has a cameraman. I don't. It's just me here. Sitting in front of my laptop right now, so it's easy. But anyway, he's filming pen reviews, and I'll tell you, sometimes you read internet comments, you read letters, and you develop a picture of somebody in your head and kind of picture what they sound like and all that. And then you hear them or see them for real, and you're like, no, that's not you. That's not the you I built up in here. Well, he looks and sounds almost exactly like how I pictured him. So that's kind of neat. So check out his channel. I'll put a link to it in my description down here. And by the way, while I'm on that topic, I also kind of got behind on my blog this week. Well, last few weeks. So I'm going to update that and yeah, hopefully get caught up on those. Because the Central Pen definitely needs a blog entry. Because there will be lots of pretty pictures to go with it. All right, and moving on. Currently, well, another pen I have inked up right now is this Retro 51 in the beautiful, beautiful copper finish. I have it inked up with Noodler's Antietam, which is what's a good word for it? A very unique ink, very coppery maybe, is that a word I want? Anyway, it matches the finish of the pen wonderfully. I really like that ink. My only complaint with it, which is a problem with some other Noodler's inks, is it doesn't dry the fastest. So that's a bit of a problem. A similar ink, if Noodler's isn't as easy to get or you just don't like Noodler's, would be Diamine Ancient Copper. My personal complaint with the Diamine Ancient Copper, because I tried both, I bought a sample of each one, was it tended to crust up on the nib on a lot of the pens. Well, two of the pens I tried it in. I did try it in a third. I don't remember which one it was, but it didn't crust up there. So apparently it crusts up on some nibs, but not others. So anyway, I didn't want to deal with the crustiness, but the not drying that quickliness is also annoying. So horse apiece, I guess. I don't know. And then last one in my daily carry case is the Edison Collier. Currently I have the broad nib in and is inked up with KWZ Iron Gall Gold ink, which is really kind of cool because it starts out Goes on very bright yellow, and then as it sits there and ages and oxidizes, it turns a much darker color. So that's kind of neat to watch. In fact, I have a review, although I don't remember which pen, in which I used this ink, and you get to see it in action on the video during my writing sample. So how could you get cooler than that? Also very interested in the KWZ brand. I swore off buying inks, and then I found out KWZ is based in Poland, and I've mentioned before that I am actually Polish. In fact, if any poll watchers happen to be at the election on November 8th, I might tell them I'm an illegal Polish immigrant just to tick them off and then go in and vote. All right. So anyway, that's what's currently ink that I'm carrying around. I am also using a Visconti Homo Sapiens, inked up with Dea Trementis Mint Turquoise, which is a really, really nice blue-green. One of my favorite inks in my collection, actually. And it's working very well in this pen. I did buy, with my money, some neodymium magnets, because I'm going to try recharging the magnet here with my pen system, because it's demagnetized. And then I will donate the magnets to my classroom, because I really want to build a homopolar motor, which doesn't take that long. It's really easy to do. It's just kind of a cool thing to just whip out one day. So I plan to build myself a homopolar motor. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's kind of a neat motor. And last but not least, because I saved this one for last on purpose, bought this over the summer. Now, last spring, you probably saw me review the Omas Ogiva. I loved the writing experience with that. That was a loaner pen from Deborah, one of my viewers. So thank you again, Deborah. She, of course, wanted it back, because with a pen like that, you don't just give them to them. I got the Noodler's Charlie for free, but it's not like that hurt Chris Rapp's finances at all. So I had to send it back, but I loved it because it had an extra Flessible nib. Now, I can't remember if hers was the medium or the fine, but it doesn't matter. I liked it. I didn't like so much how the pen looked, because I had originally sort of liked this celluloid until I saw it in person. I'm like, oh, that's the same color as a lot of Noodler's pens, and it's really sort of cheap looking. So I changed my mind. I thought, well, if I ever get one, I would prefer to get one in a different color, maybe the red, because the red looks really sharp, or something else that'll look more jewel-like. Then Omas went out of business, and I just thought, well, I guess I'll never get an Omas pen, because now they're all going to be priced out of my range, and they were right at that anyway. So over the summer, I did find one in my range. Now, it was unfortunately in the color I hate. What is this, vodka lemon or lemon vodka or something? But it is an extra Flessible nib, which is what I wanted. And mine is a medium. And I like that. It shows off good line variation. It shows off shading. In fact, I'll tell you something. Several years ago, I purchased a bottle of Omas Gray ink. Mainly for the bottle, and because I didn't like the other colors they had, and I just thought, well, I want the bottle, and because it's a bottle I could refill, because the faceted design makes it easier to use as it gets empty and all that, because you can tip it on side and so on. Well, as it turns out, I don't like the Omas Gray ink. In fact, if you look back at my TWSBI Mini review, it's kind of hard to read because I'm using Omas Gray. In most pens, that ink was flat and lifeless. Some of my pen pals actually complained to me specifically about that ink because they said they couldn't read my page because it was too faint. Well, when I used the Omas Gray ink with the extra Flessible nib and an Omas Ogiva, wow! Shading, character, beauty. If you ever look at the color combinations in a winter sky with the gray and the whites and all the different colors of gray, basically. That's what I'm putting on my paper with the Omas Ogiva with Omas Gray ink in it. It looks spectacular. So yeah, so glad I didn't get rid of that ink, because now I have one pen that it looks good in, and I'm using it again with pen pals, especially now with winter coming. It's, like I said, more of a winter looking ink. So that's what's inked up right now. With this feature of the channel, I'm mostly going to talk about what's inked up and what is in them. I think over time you will start to see some trends like, oh, he always has these pens inked up. Oh, he reviewed this pen, but he never said another word about it. So that may be interesting. And these are easy to film because I just sit in front of the computer. I don't have to set up my whole camera and tripod and lighting and all that over there. My time for that's limited because now with winter, I'm relying on daylight for my lighting, and I no longer have daylight in the evenings when I get home from work. And it's just going to get worse until December. Then it'll start to get better again. So that's where I'm at. And we're about to have the time change too, so yeah. So anyway, I hope this was interesting. I hope it was useful. I'm going to continue doing my tidbits because every Monday to let you know what's up. I'll be doing my pen reviews every Thursday. My driving videos sometime over the weekend. I've got lots. And this thing, I should probably pick a regular day, but I don't know what it is yet. But pens in use. So we'll see you later.